Namaste, all my friends, well wishers, gods. I invite you to my video to hear a few words about a Parabrahma. It's a continuation of the book called Upadesha Amrutam, written by Malayalam Swamy of Erapudu in 1950. Chapter 61. A driver of a railway train observes the signals to avert danger. As the train approaches the railway station, if he is a little bit careless and drives the train without noticing the signals, the train may collide with some wagons or train on the same line. In the same way, a wise sadhaka should keenly observe whether mind would ever collide with the senses in the attraction of the sense objects and try to prevent the same. Then alone the sadhaka will reach the goal without danger. Just as the driver stops the train if the signals are not given and even changes the line in accordance with the signals and drives the train on a clear lane, so also a sadhaka should withdraw the mind from the path of sense objects if the sense objects stand in the way to as impediments change the course and take the mind into the divine bhava, failing which will fall a prey to the sense objects. And this 62 chapter, the worldly affairs, Vishayas, appear very helpful and happy in normal conditions, but become dangerous like a venomous fire as conditions. Fire is pretty to look at commonly, but imagine how it will be while it is downcasting a town or a village. Water is normally nice to look at, but consider how it will be when it is overflowing and submerging a village. A wind is happy while it is normally blowing, but reflect how it will be when it changes itself into a cyclone. Therefore, the sadhaka should ever be aware of the fact that all worldly affairs would be changing like the above. 63 chapter. Knowledge is of three kinds: karma gnana, dharma gnana, and brahma gnana. The knowledge that notices the caste, asrama, and etc. relating to the body as real and consider them alone as the most important is the karma gnana. The knowledge that attaches no importance to the caste, asrama, and etc., but pays heed only to the divine qualities of the inner Atma manifesting outwards and consider them as real and most important is the Dharma Gnana. Quite apart from the above two, the third kind of knowledge sees the only one Lord in all the human beings and believes that the Lord alone is real and all else is unreal. This is the Brahma Gnana. First, knowing or seeing Paramatma in the Atma is the best. Knowing that though the Atmas are many, yet they are all parts of one Almighty God is the next. Third, knowing or seeing the body alone without knowledge there is a God in the Atma, or that Atma is a part of God is the worst. Knowing that the first is divine, the second human, and third is that of a animal. 64th chapter. Just as the yielding of crops is not secured if the soil is saline, though the land is well plowed and manured with great difficulty and sincerity, so also spiritual results cannot be attained if the heart is not perfectly pure in spite of the various spiritual practices such as yoga, rata, tapas, japa, concentration, meditation, worship, and the study of Vedas performed with great faith and trouble. Therefore, the sadhaka should ever keep an eye on the heart to note whether there would be a least change of heart from truth, divine virtues, santa, renunciation, kindness, and devotion. Just as the efforts of the farmer become fruitful if the soil is fertile, So also the spiritual practice of sadhaka becomes fruitful only when his heart is perfectly pure. 65 chapter. Just as a fort well protected by the armies which are strong, heroic and well equipped with guns and etc. is not possible for the enemy to subdue and occupy. So too it is not possible for any disease to enter the body of a sadhaka who strictly observes the continence, brahmacharya. Besides, such a brahmacharin possesses a great power of resistance against the effects of heat and rain, wind and snow, etc. These molecules or atoms of life juice will be moving with great vigor and spirit throughout the body. Brahmacharya develops the best intellectual capacity. It removes all the weakness of the mind. It improves and increases memory and the power of knowledge. Everyone should know that there is no other helpful practice than brahmacharya for a man to attain the fruits of this and other worlds in this very life. 66th chapter. The plight of an aspirant having no firm faith in only one Guru, only one Dharma, and only one God and truth is like a fate of a person sailing in two boats at the same time, placing one leg in one boat and the other leg in the other boat. 67th chapter. Just as persons possessed by the friends are freed from them by uttering the name of a great sorcerer or persons bitten by a snake, get rid of the venom by uttering the name of the snake sorcerer. So also a person superimposed by the neosense and troubled by the sense desires can get rid of the trouble if only they take the name of the Lord, the curer of all the diseases of samsara, with unchanging devotion. The Lord's name is the only radical cure for the delusion caused by the Maya and the defects caused by the desires. 68th chapter. There are many chronic diseases like malaria and etc. By taking medicines, they seem to be cured, but they repair as soon as there are changes in diet and bodily exercises. In the same way, natural defects are like chronic diseases. They lie dormant as long as they are practice of severe austerities, sound meditation, perfect knowledge, and pure devotion. But as soon as some attracting sense object is presented to the senses, the natural instincts or tendencies lying dormant awake and begin to work out. Therefore, the sadhaka should never be watchful. They should never associate themselves with sense objects or persons indulging in sense pleasures. 69th chapter. All the japa, tapa, dhyana, puja, bhajana and yoga of sadhaka who does not control his mind and keep it under the restraint and ever poor are like the elephant's bath. The elephant, though well cleansed with water and decorated with telecom and etc., immediately takes the dust with its trunk and sprinkles it on all over its body. The sadhaka should ever keep this instance in their view and be very careful. Since many sadhakas are not quite sincere in their attempts to keep their minds perfectly pure, they are not yet free from delusion, though they have long been toiling in the path of divine realization. Therefore, it is the duty of all the aspirants not to allow the mind to drift into passions like anger, greed, untruth, and deceit, which make the mind impure, and keep it perfectly pure even at times in the same way as they would keep it during the time of meditation, japa tapa and yoga, etc. 70 chapter. Speak gently and lovingly. This practice is more delicious than Amrutam. 71 chapter. Don't forget the spiritual practice of an angry person are worse and more dangerous than the dole soap prepared in a vessel not created, not coated with sorry 72nd. The spiritual aspirant should know and act that all the as spiritual practices of sadhakas without